All right, there's one beautiful aircraft. Air Force One sitting at Joint Base Andrews waiting for the President of the United States. He's going to be on his way to Mar-a-Lago. Hasn't been there for a while. It doesn't go in the summer, as you know, not very often anyway. But he's going today, apparently, going to spend the weekend. I'm going to guess the man might play some golf. I'm going to take the over on that, on the over-under, all right? Democratic governor for New Jersey, Phil Murphy, has been called out by his state for failing to address the rising surge in electricity prices, specifically for middle-class families who are getting squeezed and squeezed hard. President Trump has always been a proponent of America's energy independence. We talked about it here this week extensively. And to further add to that, many suggest breaking away from utility monopolies to stop such brazen price increases might be a brilliant idea. I would agree with that. Joining me to discuss is the chairman of Americans for Energy Dominance, Sam Romain. Sam, thank you for being here. And I want to start with this monopoly idea. I live in Michigan, as people know, and there are two major electric companies in the state, DTE and Consumers. And basically that covers more than 90% of the people. And every year it seems they go to the legislature, hey, we need to raise our prices. Hey, we need to raise. And every time there's a rate increase, they're like, hey, look, these monopolies are getting rich. They're not going broke. I can tell you that, Sam. What do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate your show. But going to the rate increase, I want to share some news with you fresh out of California. PG&E just gave themselves high praise today. For the first time in a decade, they decided not to raise the rates double digits. What a fascinating concept to be proud about. But you're right. You don't have choice in this country about your utility company in most cases, except for Texas. And that's because we have what's called a regulated monopoly market for these utility companies. And the reason they love to spend money is because they get a guaranteed return on equity. The more money they spend, the more money they get to charge you. And even more fascinating, they can even roll in their lobbying cost into their rate case.
And that's exactly right. And they can use that money for political purposes as well, which they do. Let me ask you about this. Here where I live, and I don't know if this is true in all states, but you're the expert. If you put solar panels on your roof thinking, you know what, I'm going to do the green energy thing. I'm going to have this house that's self-sufficient. Where I live, you don't even own that electricity. It goes into the system. It's still controlled by the two monopolies. You might get a discount, but any extra electricity that goes into the system, that's theirs. It's a strange arrangement, to say the least.
Yeah, so solar is an interesting thing in many states. You have this agreement called net metering, where the energy that you're sending off to the grid, you get compensated for, usually to offset your own usage. But some states are going even further, mostly in blue states, and saying, actually, when you send me power, I'm just going to keep it, and I'll sell it to your neighbor at full retail and give you nothing. Yeah. Now, you do have states like Texas and Florida who actually do have a favorable net metering. You know, it's really funny. You bring up the green energy thing. I don't think it's about green energy. I think it's about energy independence, but red states do it better. That's the best part.
Yeah, red states do it better. Look, what we need in this country, we need more nuclear, that's for sure. We need to stop
100%.
taking functional coal-fired power plants that still have 25 or 30 or 40 years in their lifespan. Stop taking those offline, and don't do what they did in Europe, which is just bulldoze the things. Now the Netherlands providing power to whole big chunks of Europe because other countries got rid of their power plants, while China is building ones that they're just putting over there for future reference, not even using them, building brand new coal-fired power plants to say, hey, we might need that in the future, just build it, and we'll wait till we need it. It's a totally different approach, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and the thing about it is that what we need to realize in this country is that electrons, energy, are not red, blue, green, purple, whatever. At the end of the day, what we need to do is enable the free market to choose the winner rather than propping up and having government pick winners and losers. And if that's coal, so be it. If that's nuclear, great. If that's solar, wonderful. At the end of the day, the free market has a really good track record of picking the winners and losers. And usually nuclear is going to win out on for baseload power, absolutely. But it doesn't necessarily make solar bad. What it does make, in my opinion, is solar farms become really bad. Clear-cutting farmland and forest land for solar panels usually isn't the winner in the free market economics. But when you start talking about self-generation on your home, it does have a space to compete, right?
Well, it should. And again, the blue states basically stealing the energy you create for the solar panels you paid for. It's the strangest setup I've ever seen. So We need more energy. Donald Trump is working that way. Chris Wright, I think, was doing a great job as a Secretary of Energy in this country, finding new ways to create energy, being friendly to coal states like West Virginia and Wyoming. These are all steps forward, but it's just a good start. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, and it's a good start, but a lot of this, let's go back to New Jersey just real quick to finish off. What's happened in New Jersey is a political issue. Okay. You have good bills that are in front of the state that they're not doing anything with. You have Governor Phil Murphy, who they have passed, the legislature's passed a bill to cut red tape on permitting. He's sitting on it. Automated permitting, moving from 3 months to almost 24 hours. He won't even sign it. You also, back in 2018, had legislature pass one of the most innovative battery programs to do virtual power plants. Still hasn't been enacted. Now you look at Texas, they did the same thing. They did it in 9 months and profitably. And so this comes down to a political capital, political will, and most blue states don't have the gumption to get it done. They want to play the favoritism game.
New Jersey, we're counting on you. Do something smart. Elect a Republican governor and be a step in the right direction. Sam, thank you for being here.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, every so often, something happens that reminds us just how fragile our freedoms are. We can't afford to take our rights for granted. We must draw a line in the sand, and our friends at Patriot Mobile have been doing exactly that for a dozen years. The truth is, there's only one provider that boldly stands in the gap for Americans who believe in freedom and that it's worth fighting for. That, of course, my friends, is Patriot Mobile. Not only are they leading the red economy, they're also outpacing the competition in technology. Patriot Mobile is one of the only carriers offering premium access to all three major U.S. networks, giving you nationwide coverage and service you can count on. They also offer unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, internet backup, and more. In fact, you can put two lines in the same phone. You can have a personal line and a business line, same phone. Nobody else can do that. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade to something brand new and exciting. Take a stand today. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT and use promo code RAV for a free month of service right now. That's patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. Make the switch today. All right, don't go anywhere because after the break, America's Voice Live will continue. We'll have more for you.